So you've cooked a turkey, your family's come and enjoyed the meal, and you've got all this leftover turkey, plus the whole body or the carcass of the turkey. What do you do with it? Well, don't throw it out. Make sure you get every little bit that you can out of it. The best thing to do, make homemade turkey noodle soup. It's really easy. You'll need a stock pot like this, and a few other items like salt, celery, potatoes, perhaps some onions, carrots, peas, green beans, potatoes, just to name a few. Whatever you like in your soup, that's what you want to put into it. To start things out, you want to take over your leftover turkey carcass and put it inside of a fairly large stock pot. To that pot, you want to add plenty of water and then transfer it over to your stovetop at about a medium level heat. You don't want it to be too hot, but you'd want it to cook fairly well, not quite to a boiling level. I like to use about a medium to medium high heat level. Make sure you stir it occasionally and let it simmer for several hours. After you've cooked your turkey down, the next step is to empty out the contents of the stock pot. Simply do this by pouring your juice and your meat into a strainer over another bowl. Use this bowl or this second stock pot to collect the leftover juices and then separate out your meat. You get all that and leave your bones in there. Notice a lot of the meat is just falling off and you'll have a lot of leftovers in there, but you want to be careful of that because it will burn you. So set that aside and make sure there's no bones left in there and it's all meat. So after all that picking, there you have a good amount of turkey, and that's just off of the bones that were left over after cutting all the prime pieces out. Now what you have, this is all my leftover soup stock, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to refilter it one more time, and I'm going to pour it back into my other pot here that has all of the meat that I put in that, and this will make your good base for your soup. So now we picked the meat off of the bones and we're ready to start working on our actual soup. I've got the pot back on the stove here and it's heating up again. The next thing we want to add are our vegetables. Now, I used just a generic country style blend. This package had carrots, corn, and green beans in it. I also bought a seasoning blend that had onions, celery, sweet green, and red bell peppers. I added a little bit of those to this, and I also like the celery in it. It makes a nice texture and taste to the soup. So I have some celery here that I'm going to cut up into fine pieces, and we'll add that to the soup as well, but you just add it to your to a bowl and you'll add that into your soup and let that simmer, and we'll add some. So then you want to be careful adding your vegetables onto your hot soup base because you don't want it to splash up and burn you. So I like to take my spoon and just dip it down in there, and if they fall in, it's really easy to get splashed back and burn yourself or make a mess in your kitchen, which you don't really want either. And this gives me a little more control over how many vegetables I put in, and so I don't want to overdo it unless you like lots of vegetables. And if you like lots of vegetables, add away. You stir those in, and again, just kind of keep a feel for it. Now, it's already starting to smell it. I wish I could get the smell to go through the video camera. I can't, but right now my house smells like wonderful turkey noodle soup. And you stir that in, and it will really, as you can see in there, add some nice colors and textures and flavors to your soup. And we haven't even added the noodles yet. The temperature that you want to use on this is medium to medium high heat, especially when you're getting started. And then once you've got it to a nice little rolling boil, I like to let it simmer and just slow cook, and it makes it even better. The other thing you'll want to add is some sea salt. I like to use sea salt. You can get several different types. This salt came from some friends of mine in London that I stayed with. It's just regular sea salt, but so I guess you could say it's been imported. So a special shout out to my friend Martin and his wife Shalada and their two boys, Anis and Tor. They were great fun to stay with, so I'm thinking of them as I cook this turkey noodle soup. One of the other things I like to add is some fresh parsley. I grow this in my garden each year, and you just dry it out, put it in a dehydrator, and grind that up and add that to your soups. Parsley is a great addition to any soup or almost any dish that you want to cook. And once again, you stir that into your soup. It'll add all your flavors and your smells and the looks. The more the better. So while my broth is cooking along with the turkey and the vegetables, the next thing you want to do is to cook your noodles. Now me, I like to use egg noodles. Some people like to use the no yolk eggs, egg noodles. It really doesn't matter what you choose. You can buy them at the store. Again, I like these. These are they're a more original egg noodle. They're a little thicker consistency, but you can buy them at any grocery store, whether you use egg noodles, no yolk noodles. It doesn't really matter. But the important thing is that you cook them in advance in hot boiling water. You don't want to just add them directly to your soup. Otherwise they'll get a little too mushy or the consistency isn't quite the same. So what I'm going to do now is fill my pot, another stock pot full of water, and get that to boiling, and I'll add the noodles to that. So I'm getting ready to add my noodles. These are the thicker egg noodles. They will take about 20 minutes to cook, and then the smaller ones, a little thinner, only take about 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to add these into the boiling water first. As you can see, it's steaming pretty good back there. Okay, so our water is boiling. I'm going to go ahead and add my noodles to this, again very carefully because you don't want to splash it up on you. But you add those in so that way it doesn't allow splashback or anything. And I want to get another spoon and keep those stirred up as well. Give it a nice initial little stir. I'm going to set my timer for about 8 minutes. And we'll go 9 minutes. And we'll check back and see how the noodles are doing. Egg noodles have been cooking now for a while, and as you can see here, their consistency has gotten a little more tender. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and add the other package of egg noodles, the no yolk egg noodles, to add to our soup here as soon as that cooks. And these will need to cook for about another 10 minutes as well, which will be about the perfect mix for both noodles to be at a good consistency to add to our soup stock. So we'll bring that back up to a boil, and I'll put another 10 minutes on the clock here. And again, like the other noodles, I was stirring those every once in a while just to make sure they don't stick to the bottom of the pan or to each other. And as you can see here, our vegetables in here are looking very good. And gonna have a very tasty turkey noodle soup in just a little bit. Yeah, our noodles are done cooking. So what I'm gonna do now is transfer them out, strain the juice out of them, and put them into the stock with the turkey and the vegetables, and stir that up, and we will have turkey noodle soup. Take it's hot, very hot liquid, so I'm gonna be careful. And I'm gonna pour out the water to strain the noodles. Okay, so we're ready to start stirring in our noodles into the soup. And again, I'm going to use my spoon here to help me dish these into there. It's going to fill the pot up pretty quickly because there's a lot of noodles in here. And what I might have to do is basically half it. I think they're going to fit. It's going to be one very full pot though of turkey noodle soup. Get all those good noodles into there. And then oh so carefully, very carefully, I'm going to stir these noodles in. See all the awesome colors, and we've got some stuff. I'm going to add a few more things like bay leaves. I will add that. And a little bit, looks like I need some more parsley in there. Perhaps a little bit of Italian seasoning, but not very much. Primarily about 4 bay leaves will be the next thing I'll put into this, and let that simmer for a while and get all those good flavors mixed in together. One other little thing that you can add to your soup is to take a little bit of liquid smoke sauce. And in a pot this big, I'm going to put about a half a tablespoon, or half a teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon, and add that to it. That's going to bring the salt flavor up a little bit and just give it just that hint of hickory smoke that just really, really adds a lot of flavor to your soup. So there you have it. Homemade turkey noodle soup. It's so easy to make and it's delicious. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or visit my website. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and enjoy your soup.